Hey, Greg, you're muted.
Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
Appreciate it, Greg.
You have a question for Coach Washington? Shoot in the chat, and we'll get it started here. We'll go to Steve Robertson first.
Coach, London Kraft making some headlines this week with his name appearing at the top of the two deep. Kind of take us through that process and what do you like about it?
Yeah, first, I've been proud of London, just how he works and how he carries himself each and every day. I think he's taken the initiative of working on technique and working on his assignment and understanding, making sure that he's doing all the little things right. And so he's been running around and making plays, and I've been proud of just the progression that he's made from day one all the way up to now. So I'm excited about watching him play. He's earned it in everything he's done from, of course, off the field, but on the field. He's hungry for his opportunity, and I'm excited to watch him on Saturday.
Next, we'll go to Vin Portnoy.
Hey, Jason, I know you guys got a whole bunch of young guys in the secondary and on the two deep, at least on defense. I guess, what's that been like for y'all in camp, sort of repping those guys through things? And I guess, how does that compare to maybe defenses that you worked with in the past in terms of having as many young guys as you do kind of in that group?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the big thing is just concentrating on every little thing and just breaking things down, making sure that trying to improve their football knowledge the best we possibly can, from meetings and then getting out on the field and spending that extra time, just doing all the little things and trying to teach them the game, of course, at a little bit faster pace. And, of course, I've been very pleased with some of the older guys that are there because they kind of taken those guys underneath their wing and have helped coach the younger guys up. And so I think that progression has really helped. Not just from Coach Hughes and I, but also C.J. Morgan and Fred Peters and Marcus Murphy, some of those guys that have been on the field, of taking those young guys underneath their wing and kind of taking care of them from there.
And just a quick follow-up. I know C.J.'s been kind of banged up, but in terms of sort of still helping out and guiding guys, how is he kind of taking to that when he can't, necessarily be out there repping everything?
No, he's been fantastic. Not just when he's not out there repping, but in our group chat, all that good stuff. He's like I said, he's kind of like the dad of the group. I kind of mess around with him, being the dad of the group, but at the same time, he's one of the motivators, the leaders, and it's been, of course, like I said, been great to have him around, and excited to get him back on the field hopefully pretty soon.
We'll go back to Steve Robertson.
Coach, none of the opening day starters at safety from a year ago are still around. So is that a benefit in some ways when you've got a new scheme, but you've got guys who don't have these preconceived notions, are kind of hungry to learn and not maybe hadn't developed any bad habits yet?
Yeah, it's I'll tell you, it's been good because you're able to come in and kind of teach your technique, teach your system to some fresh minds. And so we've been able to, Coach Hughes and I have been able to kind of put our hands and wrap our hands around these guys and our arms around these guys and just try to preach some of the technique and some of the different things. But at the same time, it's always tough with guys that have that experience where, you wish that they're there, sometimes some of that game experience that they had. And that's, we always talk about when you become juniors and seniors and experience and some of that other stuff really helps out on the field because your football knowledge will really improve. So we've had to amp it up just a little bit with Coach Hughes and I of just making sure some of these young guys that have had limited time on the field just work every little thing from, of course, technique and assignment and alignment and all that good stuff. So it's been good.
We'll throw it back to Vin Portnoy.
Coach, just on London, I know he's a guy that was a walk-on at State and hasn't seen a ton of time, but when y'all told him that he was going to be sort of at the front end of that two deep, I guess, what was his reaction to it? And I guess, what was that like to deliver the news to that kind of, to a guy like that?
No, he was excited, but at the same time, we told him, hey, hard work pays off, and you've been hungry for having this opportunity, and you took advantage of it, and now it's time to continue to do the right things and do the little things to keep that position, because there's guys, Colin Duncan and Dylan Lawrence, and all of them are hungry to take his position, and that's what we want. We want competition each and every day and each and every practice. It's not just games, it's every day. And so if we can compete like we do in practice and do it, of course, in the games, I'm excited about the entire group, not just London, but all of them. But I've been proud, like I said, of London and just the progression that he's made, and he's done a good job, and I'm excited to watch him on Saturday.
I mean, for him, was there like a moment or a practice or a time when you guys felt like it really started to click for him, that, it felt like he'd kind of taken that step or role?
I think he was had a couple of issues early from being out of practice, and then finally came in. And when he came back to practice, I know he was working out and doing some of that stuff, and came back to practice, and I mean, he was full throttle and made some plays early, and was getting guys lined up and knew what to do and knew where to line up, and those little things. We always talk about trust. Is we got to trust you to put you out on the field, and so we, of course, started gaining that trust with him, and he was producing, and those two things, trust and production, and try to be what I say a human highlight film, and he was doing some really, really good things, and so I'm excited to see that progression continue on, like I said, on Saturday.
We'll keep the cycle going, and we'll go to Steve Robertson.
Coach, obviously you don't get to pick the schedule, but kind of out of the frying pan into the fire right out of the gate for some of these young guys in secondary. How do you kind of prepare them for that, just being able to play on the road, kind of have a tough mindset?
Mm-hmm. It's you hear this adage all the time. It's always, play the next play. So do your best, do everything you can to on that play and give, 100% effort, and whatever happens, whether good or bad, you got to move on and play the next play, and hopefully we're successful there. But, we continue to preach with these young guys is alignment, assignment, and technique. And, that's half the battle. So if we're able to be successful there and understand, especially when LSU starts going fast or anything like that, and making sure that we get lined up and be physical in what we do, and let's try to win, go 1-0 on this down, and erase it out of our mind, and let's go at it one more time. So that's the big thing, and just coming together and staying together as much as we possibly can on that.
All right, I think that's all the time we have for Coach Washington. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
Appreciate it, Greg. Hey, appreciate y'all, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Hail State.